now, cleanup efforts continue around southern Wisconsin after yesterday's storms, with thousands of people still without power at this hour as temperatures rise.
And speaking of those rising temperatures, we're going to be dealing with 2 days of it. We'll talk more about our alert days coming up.
This is News 3 now at noon. Thanks for joining us. Let's head back to the Weather Center. Julian Seawright has a look at your certified most accurate forecast, and it is getting dangerously hot out there.
Yes, that is right. It's already been pretty smoky for us as we get into our noon hour. And just a quick look at what we're seeing for our alert day, folks, is for today and tomorrow for the heat. Today specifically for the heat, but tomorrow is going to be the heat, and we have severe weather threat that will be looming for us going into our late afternoon and evening hours. We'll get more details about that in a moment, but for right now, the heat advisory is what we're going to be dealing with throughout the course of today for all of us here in southern Wisconsin. However, a bit longer for areas from Dane County into the south until 8 p.m. Wednesday, whereas the areas to the north will be dealing with it throughout the rest of this evening. Now, taking a look at our temperatures already. Now, this is on the surface. We're already looking at 90-degree temperatures here in Madison and down to the south, where we're looking at 91 degrees apiece for Platteville and for Janesville. So it's already hot on the surface, and the heat index, we're already into the triple digits for Platteville as of right now. And we're inching closer here in Madison and for Janesville as well. It's going to be a scorcher for us, so make sure you are staying hydrated, cool, and limiting your time outdoors, because this heat will be no joke. As we continue throughout the rest of this afternoon, we're going to be inching close and even being shy of those record-setting temperatures as we get into the later part of today, Mark. But we're going to talk more about that and our severe weather threat coming up in a few moments. It's going to be a busy next 24 hours.
All right, we'll check back. Thank you, Julian. Cleanup crews will have to deal with the heat and humidity today as they try to pick up after yesterday's storm. Significant damage from the wind was left behind across Madison and Dane County. McKenna Alexander has a look at the cleanup efforts that started back up this morning.
Just a day after the storm, cleanup still continues, especially on the north side of Madison, where some apartment complexes were hit the hardest. Now, you can see here behind me, cleanup is continuing this morning. Crews arrived here around 6 a.m. There are a couple located around this complex. Now, this debris over here, this roof and everything that comes with it, actually came from a building a few passes over. So it did not come from any of these buildings. It got picked up the roof, transported all the way over here. A couple of trees as well falling down, hitting 3 or 4 cars, 3 of them completely totaled. We did speak with some man this morning. The car in his middle is actually his daughter. So just terrible, terrible tragedy for them. As for the rest of cleanup, it is still continuing. They've already made a good amount of progress. This morning when I was here, there were a lot more branches, but now that this gate is cleared up, people are moving in and out, getting things cleaned up. Luckily, no one was hurt, and services should be restored by later today, so residents should be back in their own homes tonight.
McKenna Alexander reporting. The Madison Fire Department says it responded to more than 5 dozen storm-related calls yesterday afternoon. They received a total of 61 calls for help between 2:15 and 5:45 Monday. The majority of the calls were from people reporting downed power lines due to fallen trees or large branches. The fire department also responded to an apartment building on the north side that lost its roof, an alarm investigation at a local hospital, elevator rescues, and several EMS calls during and after the storm. And yesterday's storms had effects across the state. In Milwaukee, heavy rains contributed to 3 people getting swept away into a drainage tunnel. Authorities say an 11-year-old girl slipped into a drainage ditch before getting carried away by rushing water. 2 men then went into the river to try to rescue her before also getting carried away. Dive teams tried to find the 3 people, but as of this morning, they still have not been found. Right now, there's still more than 6,000 people without power in the Madison area. This is a look at the latest outages from MG&E. Officials there say the sheer number of power lines down as a result from yesterday's storms means some people may not get their power back up until later tonight. More than 21,000 people lost their power as a result of yesterday's storms. MG&E says about 75% of those people have had their power restored. And we do have some good news. The Madison Parks Department says mechanical issues at Goodman Pool that were caused by the storms have been fixed. The Parks Department had previously said they were unsure if the pool would be open today, but the pool was able to open for swim lessons this morning and will be open to the public at 1 o'clock this afternoon for those looking to beat the heat. And if you or someone you know is still without power and needs a cool place to stay today, there are a number of options across the area. Dane County Emergency Management opened a shelter at Madison College for those affected by the storm damage. Another cooling center opened at the Coliseum at the Alliant Energy Center this morning. Metro buses will also provide free rides to and from both cooling centers. In Monona, both the Public Library and Senior Center are open today as cooling centers. There are a number of other locations across the state also offering a place to cool down. We'll have an updated list at channel3000.com. And doctors say access to air conditioning is the biggest key in avoiding heat exhaustion or heat stroke. According to UW Health's Dr. Jeff Potoff, if you don't have access to air conditioning or have to work outside, planning ahead and being mindful of how you're feeling could keep you out of the ER.
The most important thing to do is to plan for days like this. If we run into these days and we haven't made plans for how we're going to keep cool, things can spiral a bit out of control. You can find yourself in trouble or in an emergency department.
Dr. Potoff says planning ahead should center around when to drink fluids and what you're going to wear. He says if you start to get muscle cramps, that's the first sign that you need to get out of the heat and hydrate. You can get the latest updates on this heat and check the heat index in your area with our First Warn weather app. Julian and the weather team will also be giving updates throughout the day there. You can download the app for free today in your app store. Just search for Channel 3000 Weather. In other news happening today, authorities in Rock County will close a cold case that has gone unsolved for almost 30 years. A man who was found dead near Turtle Creek in the town of Bradford in 1995 will be publicly identified this afternoon. When the body was first discovered, there wasn't much found at the scene, just a pendant and a single shoe. Investigators believe the body had been there for about a year when it was found. Through the years, there were various sketches, and he was often referred to as Riverman and eventually John Clinton Doe. The Rock County Sheriff's Office is holding a 1:30 news conference to announce the identity. We'll be live streaming it on our social media pages and Channel 3000 Plus. Madison police say a 48-year-old man has been arrested after threatening someone with a sword. It happened on Milwaukee Street in the woods near the Amazon Distribution Center. Investigators say a 48-year-old man was looking for someone at the nearby encampment while armed with a large sword. After threatening to harm that person, police quickly arrived and took him into custody. He faces charges of disorderly conduct while armed, as well as bail jumping. There's more to come on News 3 Now at noon, including how investors are reacting to another day of losses on the stock market. And we'll take a look at the midday numbers coming up.
You're watching News 3 Now at noon.
Create your perfect room for relaxing, entertaining, and more with patio enclosures. Right now, get 25% off your sunroom. Plus, enjoy exceptional financing. Call today. Patio enclosures.
Protect your home and save with 11% off everything at Menards. Your roof is the first line of defense against the elements. Shingles protect your home and impact its curb appeal. Owens Corning architectural shingles can withstand up to 130-mile-per-hour winds and have a limited lifetime warranty. Available in 60 styles. For a roof that will make you the envy of the neighborhood, choose Owens Corning shingles. All 11% off right now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Do you suffer from chronic or severe back or neck pain? Did you know that there's now a treatment method available right here at Midwest Spine and Nerve Center that offers hope of avoiding spinal surgery for those suffering with bulging, herniated, or degenerative discs? Our therapies help reduce pain related to these conditions and have a high success rate in helping people just like you avoid back or neck surgery.
I've experienced low back pain for over 15 years. I had back surgery when I was 26 and had difficulties recovering. The doctors at Midwest Spine and Nerve Center have given me a new lease on life. I am now able to enjoy an active, pain-free lifestyle.
Call Midwest Spine and Nerve Center now to schedule a no-obligation consultation to see if our progressive pain-relieving therapies are right for you.
The Spring Green Art Fair is coming June 25th and 26th to downtown Spring Green. Hundreds of artists from around the nation will be there both days. Don't miss the fun and excitement June 25th and 26th in Spring Green.
There's a reason President Trump endorsed Tim Michels for governor.
I'm not a politician. I'm a businessman who helped build a great Wisconsin company and created thousands of jobs.
President Trump called Tim Michels an America First conservative who will support the Second Amendment, honor law enforcement, and stand strong against the woke mob.
If you want to see Madison turned upside down, then I'm asking for your vote.
Tim Michels, endorsed by President Trump for governor.
Create your perfect room for relaxing, entertaining, and more with patio enclosures. Right now, get 25% off your sunroom. Plus, enjoy exceptional financing. Call today. Patio enclosures.
Well, Wall Street is watching closely to see if the stock markets rebound today after all three major indexes saw large losses yesterday. Michael George has the latest on the bear market from New York.
Stocks opened higher this morning following a big sell-off on Monday. The S&P 500 began the day in bear market territory, down more than 20% from its peak.
Consumers feel less confident today than they did amid the worst part of COVID.
CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger says soaring inflation and the likelihood of more interest rate hikes are pushing investors to sell their stocks.
The Federal Reserve has to thread this needle. They want to slow down the pace of inflation. But by raising interest rates, what's happening is they could actually tip us into a recession if they go too far, too fast.
If the Fed doesn't raise rates, inflation could keep rising. Right now, gas is at more than $5 a gallon. Food prices are up 10% in the last year, and the cost of travel up 38%. With the market tumble, millions of Americans who have their retirement savings tied to a stock-based 401k account are asking what to do about it. Some we spoke with say they've been through this before.
You know, it's the people who are younger who really start to worry. My only concern is how long this will last. Will it last until the time when we have to start taking money out?
Many financial advisors urge their clients not to sell when the markets are low, especially if the money inside the 401k won't be needed for years to come. Michael George, CBS News, Wall Street.
And let's check stocks at this hour. The Dow Industrial is down 233 points. The NASDAQ, however, up 9. The S&P 500 down 20. It's a good time to roll up a sleeve for a good cause. It's National Blood Donor Day. The goal of the day is to raise awareness for the need for regular blood donations while also thanking donors. It also celebrates researchers that are working to develop new uses and technology for donated blood. Today in the U.S., someone needs donated blood every 2 seconds, but only 2% of Americans are blood donors. A new study is looking at how common it is to get so-called rebound COVID-19 symptoms after taking the antiviral Paxlovid. Dr. Michaela Marshall gives us a closer look at what the study found.
Paxlovid is an antiviral pill prescribed to people at high risk for severe COVID disease. Studies show it can reduce the chances of needing to be hospitalized, but some patients have reported a rebound of COVID-19 symptoms after taking the drug. Mayo Clinic researchers looked at 483 high-risk patients treated for COVID-19 with a 5-day course of Paxlovid. Only a handful of patients developed rebound symptoms. All patients recovered, including those who had rebound symptoms, and those were typically mild. Most patients were vaccinated, many boosted. As for why some have a rebound in symptoms, researchers explain that one possibility is a replication of the virus that causes COVID-19 may trigger a secondary immune response that appears as mild symptoms. Patients also had other serious health problems, which they say can complicate recovery. More research is needed to figure out why some patients experience the rebound. Right now, scientists are looking at whether longer treatment may help. I'm Dr. Malika Marshall, CBS News, Boston.
All right, let's take a look outside on this toasty Tuesday. There's plenty of sun as we could end up breaking a record today. Julian's in next with a closer look at this heat wave and when it'll break.
Rest comfortably with brands you can trust at Wanakee Furniture ETC. Create a unique and stylish room with made-in-the-USA products from companies like Smith Brothers of Bern. Select from a wide variety of sofas at a great price.
Bring quality home at Wanakee Furniture ETC.
Fry Construction is celebrating 27 years with a big big anniversary sale. Join us to save 27%. That's right, 27%. Many of your neighbors already know how we strive to meet and exceed expectations with each and every project. That's why they voted us Best Roofer 2 years in a row. Experience the best of Madison for yourself with Fry Construction. Act now for 27% off gutters with any full roofing or siding project. Schedule your free consultation today at fryconstruction.com.
Those brave men and women of our armed forces, generations of them. Why should today's burdens fall back onto them? They were there for us. Now let's be there for them. Your local Wisconsin energy providers and the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund are working together to deliver Wisconsin veterans in crisis heat, power, and help staying in their home. But they can't do it alone. Donate today.
Inflation is a tax hitting Wisconsin families and businesses, especially at the pump. But the Biden administration cut American energy production.
These are their policies. They want to drive up the price of fossil fuel. They want to drive up the price of energy, so apparently we use less of it.
Senator Ron Johnson is fighting to restore American energy independence. Johnson helped write legislation to finish the Keystone Pipeline, expand U.S. oil production, and promote natural gas. Tell Senator Johnson, keep fighting for American energy independence.
Let the design team at Wanakee Furniture ETC help you find your inspiration and transform your room. Every style, every budget, our creativity, passion, and expertise will help you design your dream space.
Bring quality home at Wanakee Furniture ETC.
Businesses team up for a fundraiser to help end homelessness in the 608. Tomorrow, Josh Sprider previews the fun lineup for kids and adults at this weekend's Ferraro Fest.
And another threat for severe weather will be timing out the impacts tomorrow morning from 4:30 to 7.
A local nonprofit celebrates 10 years.
We are small but mighty.
Eric Franke explains the critical help Geo's Garden gives to families of kids with special needs.
It's amazing to see the impact that Geo's has had.
And what could come next. Thursday on News 3 Now at 6. The Farm Report is sponsored by Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Well, let's check in with Pam Yankee from the Midwest Farm Report. And, of course, the heat is what we're all talking about today.
Absolutely. And, you know, I guess if we want to try to find some silver lining out of this, I understand Wisconsin strawberry season is officially beginning in some areas of our Channel 3 radius. I talked to Ed Burrs from Barneveld. They're going to probably open their patch in the next couple of days. I understand Skelly's Market down by Janesville might be opening, even one up by Oshkosh. So if you're looking for fresh berries, I know not necessarily real enjoyable out in the patch today, but they'll be fresh. wiberries.org. wiberries.org. One item that Ed also mentioned is you should probably be prepared for a little bit of an increase on cost this year. Boy, oh boy, the fertilizer that farmers need to get that crop going, it's about threefold more expensive this year than it was last. A lot of the inputs that they rely on to get those berries going went up in cost. So expect to see that in a little bit of an escalated cost for those Wisconsin strawberries. But boy, they are on their way. The corn and soybeans are on their way to more growth too. You talk about that knee high by 4th of July. This kind of weather is exactly what will take us there. 94% of our corn's in the ground, 93% of our soybeans are planted. Both crops showing on average between 83 and 85% good to excellent ratings. Potatoes, about 96% of those are in the ground. Got to keep an eye on that, though. They're about 3 weeks behind last year, about a week behind the 5-year average as far as planting is concerned, but they still have pretty good confidence that the quality of the crop is out there. FFA convention is officially underway at the Alliant Energy Center, one of the service projects that FFA members are working on, collecting personal hygiene items and kids' entertainment items at the FFA convention. They're calling it their Summer Essentials Drive. They want to shoot for about 500 individual items that they'll be collecting at the FFA convention and then donating back to the Salvation Army and the Goodwin Center, trying to help out in Goodman Center, I should say, helping out any way that they can. Markets today need help. I can't find anything but red ink. Barrel cheese today down 4.5, 217.5. 40-pound block cheese down 3 1/4 at 218.5. Double A butter though, going against the trend, up a nickel at $2.98 a pound. But boy, oh boy, this is gonna. You talk about those power outages. Imagine if you've got a herd full of dairy cows that are trying to get milked, want to get feed, need to get water, need to get cooled down with fans. Electricity is the number one component of farm needs. So I sure hope everybody's backup generators were working in that overnight situation.
Yeah, and the storm damage as well. It's rough couple of days. Stay cool.
Not hang on, you know.
All right, Pam, thank you.
Yep.
Here's Julia now with the Grizzly details.
Well, the Grizzly details is this, folks. Just make sure that you survive in advance because it's going to be hot today and it's going to be hot tomorrow. Now it's just, how hot are we going to get? Well, so far, as you know, it's already just noon, and we are 5 degrees off from our record that was set back in 1950s. Now, that is quite an extraordinary thing for us, especially as we're going in throughout the rest of today. But just note that we are looking to break that record at this current pace. We could be seeing our forecast high around 97 degrees for us, but the heat indices are what we're really going to be keeping our eye on, because not just the surface temperature, but what it really feels like for us is going to be pretty brutal, as we're going to be into the triple digits, and many of us are already at that as of right now. Tomorrow's going to be hot again, but now we have a severe weather threat to talk about. But until we get there, we do have a heat advisory in effect for all of southern Wisconsin. That's going to last for areas north of Dane County. This is from the Dells north that are going to be seeing that advisory until later this evening at 8 p.m. But for the southern tip, we're going to be holding on to that heat advisory until tomorrow evening. Now, temperatures as of right now in southern Wisconsin, this is on the surface for us. We're looking at the low 90s for pretty much all of us. Areas just north are into the 80s as of right now, but this is what it really feels like. 98 degrees here in Madison and for Janesville, with 100 degrees already for Bosco Bell and for Platteville as we're starting off our afternoon. So the bottom line is this, folks. We talked about it this morning. We're going to talk about it again for this afternoon and even this evening and going into tomorrow. Make sure that you are finding ways to stay cool. Wear light clothing, stay hydrated, limit the outdoor activities, and find your designated cool areas. Some of us are out of power for today. Make sure you reach out to your friends or neighbors to find those areas where you can stay cool for today. And also, do not leave pets or any children inside of vehicles if you're going to be traveling or driving around throughout the course of the day, because it will be very fatal and it will heat up very quickly inside of your car. Now, aside from that, we got to talk about our severe weather threat going into tomorrow. We have an enhanced risk for areas just north of Madison. This is really encompassing the central and northern areas of Wisconsin for us, but just outside of it, we have, once again, a slight risk for us to see severe storms. Now, we are looking for the threat to mainly be just north of Dane County, but outside of it, we still have a risk for us to see some storms that will pop up with the threats of a tornado, potentially even some hail, and again, damaging winds that could be impacting our communities once again. So it's time to stay prepared and also keep your eye on that, aside from the heat, but also for more storms to be on the way. And what we're going to be seeing for us is the warm front will be the leading edge of this low that will continue to push itself up into the upper Midwest, which is what's bringing us the hot and humid conditions. Right behind it, I'm going to be seeing that cold front starting to sweep its way in, especially going into our late Wednesday, which is going to be the catalyst for us to start to see storms firing off as we get into our Wednesday. So today it's going to be quiet. It will be sunny. It will be hot. However, the winds are going to be there. But since the winds are just going to be blowing hot air, it's not really going to be giving us relief. As we get into our Wednesday, well, overnights we could see a quick little cluster of some showers or storms. But overall, Wednesday is just going to be hot and quiet until we get into Wednesday evening, where we're going to see that line of storms starting to roll their way and sweep across southern Wisconsin. And as you saw, a Boeing signature once again, which is going to be a key indicator for these storms to be giving us once again some damaging high winds for us. So again, be prepared for the storms coming in, as we are going to be anticipating those to be coming into our evening hours and early night time as well. So make sure you have multiple ways to receive any alerts, and on top of it, of course, stay cool over the next 24 hours as well, because we're still going to be dealing with some serious heat. The good news is, folks, once we're done with Wednesday, well, we can actually take a breath of reprieve as we're going in the next few days, especially heading into the weekend, of some nice weather. Honestly, Mark, it's going to feel like summer. We're going to be dealing with some 80s, not a whole lot of precipitation. Going into Father's Day, we're going to be seeing around 86 degrees, perfect grill weather and perfect pool weather, or even if you want to go into a boat, it's great for that as well.
Just get through the next couple of days.
Yes, and we just need to, muscle through.
Right, stay cool. Julian, thank you. There's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Up next, we'll see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
As soon as the sign-up sheet goes out for the next church supper or potluck, we've got just the thing to jot down next to your name that'll win you rave reviews. Rave.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Are you ready to make junk disappear?
I've never been more ready in my life.
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point. got junk. We'll be there before you hang up the phone.
Joe Biden opened America's borders, increasing the flow of deadly drugs into our communities. Last year, over 105,000 people died of drug overdoses in America. Biden's putting our children and families at risk. Ron Johnson is warning everyone that drug traffickers are adding fentanyl to counterfeit pills, and it only takes one pill to kill. Please tell your children and support law enforcement.
I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message.
You can get your smile back today. At Affordable Dentures and Implants, we make high-quality tooth replacement affordable for everyone. So whether it's a single tooth, full dentures, or life-changing dental implants, we have an experienced dentist who can help you go ahead and smile. Click or call to schedule your new smile consultation today.
Go ahead and smile.
It's Terrific Tuesdays at Hy-Vee. This Tuesday, get Cheez-It crackers, only 99 cents. Hunt's ketchup, only 99 cents. Bolthouse Farms baby carrots, only 49 cents. And Breyer's ice cream, only $2.48. Tuesday only. For more ways to save on hundreds of items every day at Hy-Vee, check out our monthly catalog, our weekly ad, and scan the QR code to visit HyVeeDeals.com for even more deals.
When it's hot, all you want is some relief. Relief from the heat outside, relief from sleepless nights, and relief from big electric bills. Even your air conditioning unit needs some relief. So when you wrap your home with our premium injection foam, it's like putting your entire house in a cooler. It keeps the hot air out, the cool air in, and your electric bills lower. And right now, when we foam your walls, we'll insulate your attic for free.
USA Insulation.
Are you ready to make junk disappear?
I've never been more ready in my life.
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point. Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK. We'll be there before you hang up the phone.
This is the time of year when you can count on two things. Spring flowers are going to be in full bloom, and sure as the sun will rise tomorrow, many of us are going to be invited to a potluck dinner. And whether that dinner's at church, a neighbor's house, or we're the ones hosting it, we have a dish that's always the first to go. We start off by placing some cut-up lettuce in a large glass bowl or a trifle dish. Now, on top of that goes a layer of red bell peppers. Over that, we place some chopped red onion, a layer of frozen peas that we've thawed, and some cut-up celery. For the best part, we spoon on a mixture we made by combining some mayonnaise with a bit of sour cream and garlic powder, and top that with a generous amount of shredded cheddar. We'll repeat the layers one more time, top it with some bacon, chill it, and it's ready to serve. And not only is this pretty to look at, it's downright tasty. What makes it so good is how each layer complements the others, creating almost a symphony of flavor. So here's what I suggest. Go online and get the recipe for our icebox salad. This way, as soon as the sign-up sheet for the next potluck or church dinner gets posted, you can jot this down right next to your name. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a pretty and tasty way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
All right, Julian, one final check of your forecast.
We have a heat advisory for today and for tomorrow for areas in the south. As we go in throughout the next couple of days, make sure you're staying cool, and on top of it, be weather aware as we are looking for severe storms to make their way into southern Wisconsin once again, going into our Wednesday evening mark.
All right, Julian, thank you. Thank you all for watching. Stay cool. Be careful out there. We'll see you back here at 4 o'clock.